Oh no, they say that role's pretty powerful now.
Yeah, but it will never replace a man. You better believe that. You better ask some of your the doggone what they calling them homosexuals.
But they be figuring out now. They figured out.
They don't want a man, but they want one to look like one. Wonder why? You don't want no man, but you want your woman to look like a man. See, something wrong with that. Because if you don't want a man, you should have a dildo. You should have her looking like a man. She got tattoos on and all that foolishness. No, you want another woman? Get you another woman. But don't get you a woman trying to be a man. Makes no sense. So you can't replace a man. Not a real man. You can't replace him. And a woman who done had a real man and let you know, no, you can't replace that.
So what do you think about with regards to like is there ever a level of disrespect that a woman can't come back from? Do you think
that'll be just acting like is there a level of disrespect a man can't come back from?
Yes
it
or no?
It depends. It depends on the individual, because I'm saying disrespect for me is like I don't like lying. Okay. Now.
But okay. Well, you don't like lying, but like, what if a person just cuss you out real bad in the heat of the moment? You could take that better than a lie.
Just cuss me. I don't care.
Oh, you don't care about that?
No, because I might cuss you. So, and boy, my cussing probably gonna be nastier than yours. But go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it levels of that you can't come back from?
It's individuals. See, that's what I'm saying. Cussing don't matter to me. I rather you cuss me than lie. See, some people don't care about lying. That's big on my spectrum is lying. I understand you get pissed off and start cussing people.
Okay.
I get that. But lying, that's an integrity issue.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. No, it's not the cussing, and people are different. You know, some people maybe can't take cussing, but I'm saying I can't take lying.
Okay.
Just depends on the person.
So I guess everybody have what it just depends on. But
yeah, cussing to me ain't bad. I mean, cause
so you don't care if people call you MFers and
then
say
I'm gonna say your mama.
What?
So what? It don't matter with me. I don't care because I'm gonna get your bank. That's a two-way street. You say something, I'll say something. You say something. When we get tired of saying something, I guarantee you're gonna be mad with me.
Well, darn, I thought I got that from Mama. Must have got it from you. Must have got it from you. I thought that came from my mama.
I'll tell you. Make me mad. I'm gonna tell you something. You ain't gonna like it. But words, because you done told me like that I have to be careful with what I say. Serious. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say it don't bother me, because I'm saying you got a weapon, I got a weapon. You shoot, I'm gonna shoot. But that ain't gonna affect me, because I understand we was all mad. But lying is a whole different level.
Okay, so everybody have what is deal breakers. So, like I said, you're a girl dad. Did you ever want a son?
I thought about it, but I know the Lord knows best. I mean, He knew what He was doing, because I probably would have been too hard on my son.
Too hard on your son? You was hard on your oldest daughter. You were hard on the other one, but you were hard on your oldest.
Because I probably would have doubled it with him. So that's what I'm saying. I was probably going to be too hard on him, and the Lord never blessed me with him, because my daddy was hard. I was raised by a hard daddy. So I was going to be real hard on my son if I had one.
Well, why you ain't hard on your grandson?
Because I know that's not what you want, because they'll come out like you. That's not what you want.
What you mean they'll come out like you?
I'm talking about me.
Yeah. But you said you would have been like that with your son.
I would have at that time, because I'm saying I was young. I was young when I was having my children, so I was hard. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, because I was fresh out of being hard too. Mm-hmm, so that's what I'm saying. If I had a son, say my son would have been you. you're my first kid. I've been too hard on him. I was hard on you. So if I would have had a son, I would have really been hard on him because I would have had so much expectation for him, and he would have had to walk a straight line, and he couldn't look a crazy way because I would have been knocked his head off. It's just been too much because that's how I was raised.
Okay, so it's just different because of your age and your grandson. Because I didn't know if it's like a grandparent thing, or because Nicholas is a boy and you didn't have a boy.
No, it's because I was more mellow and understood that, hey, you don't have to be that hard. You don't have to be that. You just have to make sure you got an understanding with any of your children. You don't have to be hard. You have to make sure you have an understanding. When they understand what you stand for, what upsets you, what don't. That's all they need. You ain't got to be flexing every time you look around because they already know how you are. And that's how I try to do with my grandkids. They know I'm not going to take no foolishness, but I don't need to be on them like that because I already done explained, hey, don't do that. And once I tell them that and they don't try me, we ain't got no more discussion about that particular situation. But before I got older, I'm probably going to be on them even if they thought about going down that road after I done told them, don't do it. But not now, because I'm saying, hey, they know what I like and what I don't like, so I don't have to stress that.
So now you have grandkids now and you have grown kids. Like, do you enjoy parenting more now, or do you think it was easier when your kids were little? And like, which part do you enjoy more now? Or before, when we was little?
It's easy when you have little kids.
Okay.
That's the easy part because they do what you tell them. When you got grown kids, they don't care what you they do not care.
That ain't true.
Yeah, they may care, but you can't tell. But so that's what I'm saying. Hey, it's harder and it's more demanding. In my opinion, it's more demanding. Why? Because see, 8-9-year-olds, they're not gonna cost you no thousands. Them grown children gonna cost you thousands and not listen. So that's hard for me.
Oh,
that's harder for me. My grandkids, they ain't gonna cost me no thousands of dollars. I don't care. They may, and they're gonna listen. They tend to listen a little bit more because they understand because you didn't explain to you how it is, how life is. They tend to listen a little bit more. Now, when they get older, they may change, but right now they tend to listen.
So, out of like you've been through like a lot. You was in the military. You had kids, marriage. Like you bought houses. You have like ran the gamut of life pretty much. Like, what are some of your biggest regrets? Like, in terms of what would you tell your younger self?
Oh yeah, my marriages was my biggest regret. I would have never married some of the people I married, but that's probably been my biggest regret. But even in those, I learned something. But because one thing I tell people all the time, I would have never got a divorce if I know of all the collateral damage that's involved. But other than that, other than my marriages, I don't regret too much.
Nothing with like your jobs, nothing with social friends, nothing like that.
No, I don't really have any regrets for that because I'm saying, when it comes to your friends, things will happen so you can find out who your real friends are. So you want that. You always want that to happen, even though it may not feel good, but you want that to happen because you want to deal with the people that's real. So if I have to be betrayed, that's okay because now I know who you are. But before then, people always talking about they're your friend. You don't know who your friends are until you go through something. That's when you find out. So I don't care about that. I'm saying the thing that I could have regret for is just because I thought in marriage I got to choose. Okay, I picked those women, so that's what I'm saying. So whatever happened in those relationships, I take the responsibility first and foremost. Not that I was always the problem. It's just the fact that I'm the one that chose them.
Oh, you are some of the problem too now.
Man, I could have been.
Joker.
I could have been the problem. I could have been the problem. But all I'm saying, I chose him.
So you would tell if you had some advice for your younger self, you would tell your younger self to
don't marry whoever.
Okay, so you would just make different decisions
Yeah,
with
I
that.
would not marry the people I married now.
And for your older self, like what are you doing now in your life that you want your 80-year-old self to say, I'm glad he did that when he was 64? Well, how are you moving now that's preparing your older self, preparing the life for your older self?
Oh, well, yeah, what you try to do for you now in preparation for your older self is just take care of yourself. Don't stress, get as much rest, eat right. Now you basically, because I seen a meme saying, that they retired, now they're working for their grandkids. So it's the same way in life. You didn't live the good life, but now you're just trying to live long enough so you can be an advisor to your kids and your grandkids. Because, as I know, no matter how old you get, you always need some wisdom and advice. See, that's what I miss most about my mother. She's not here to give me some advice and some wisdom. So I'm saying she didn't live long enough to be here to do that. So I'm saying for me, that's all I'm trying to do is live a healthy, righteous life so I can be an advisor to my children, my children's children. That's what I'm doing currently. That's it. Just trying to make sure I'm healthy, stressless, trying to live as long as possible so they can have advisors up until their old age, because you're never going to stop needing advisors and wisdom.
I can agree with that. What is your proudest moment? Like what things are you proud of?
It's a whole host of things. I haven't lived a good life. I mean, that's one thing I give God credit for. That I've been living a blessed life since I was in probably 8th grade, and not too many people can say that they have lived a blessed life. My mother was living. She always used to tell me, "Boy, you blessed." Boy, I could never understand why she was saying that until I got older and looked back and said, man, I always had more than enough money in my pocket, always exceeding, the expectation of my age. I was driving my own car, bought my own car in 10th grade when I wasn't old enough to even purchase it. They had to sign for it. So I'm saying, I look back, I had a good company I worked for, been in ministry, been in the military, have a host of good people I've met. So that's what I'm saying. I have no complaints about my life. It's always been good. So that's what I'm mostly proud of is that the Lord has allowed me to live a good life. For as my kids is concerned, I'm a person with high expectations. So, of course, none of them live up to that.
Let you tell them.
My expectations are much higher than theirs. So that's the whole.
Now, why do you think that is? Because for the most part, you do have children who have avoided a lot of the pitfalls that other people have had.
That's true.
But yet, if a person listens to you, sometimes they'll think that like your kids, you don't have no daughter you don't have kids that have degrees, you don't have kids that done exceeded in Excel, have decent jobs, wrote books. You would think your kids have just crashed and burnt their life listening to you sometimes.
That's what I focus on. It's good that you got your degree. That's great. But degrees was never my thing. My point was never that they had to have a degree, because I understand the degree you ain't arrived because you got one.
Right, but you have kids that have a decent character, that have like people ain't always running back telling you stuff about them.
They do.
But you be acting like you don't have kids like that.
To me, those things was what we raised. Me and their mother raised people that we know of character. So I don't expect my kids to be of no character, because they wasn't raised that way. So I kind of expect that. They wasn't raised that way. And that's what I'm saying. Even if I found out that I had some that didn't have character, like we don't steal, That's not how
Yeah,
we was
yeah, we ain't
raised. We
doing
don't
that.
rob. We don't go around selling poison. I didn't raise my kids that way. They didn't see me do that. So I don't expect them to do that. So when you come like and tell me like, well, we didn't do that, well, neither did I. So what are you trying to tell me?
Well, you did a lot of stuff we ain't do now.
Yeah, but it wasn't robbing, stealing, and selling poison. Wasn't that?
Well, I'm just saying you do have like kids that you can take
I
your
do
hat
have 'em.
you can take your hat off a little bit now every now and
I
then,
can be
but you
grateful
don't.
to God, and I am grateful to God that I don't go through what a lot of parents go through. I do not, but I don't expect to either, because I'm saying, where'd you get it from? You didn't get that from me. We didn't raise you that way. So if you did, I would be very disappointed if any of my kids went left when they didn't see me do it. So when you say, well, we don't do that, neither do I. Neither did you see me do that. So I don't say that's an achievement. That's what you should be. Now,
So basically, like, you ain't giving us credit for doing what we supposed to do.
God don't give you credit for what you're supposed to do. He expect you not to be running around sinning. God, I didn't sin today, Lord. Bless me for that. No, that's what you're supposed to do, not sin. So when you do what you're supposed to do, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, when you start exceeding what you know to do, then you deserve all that glory it is. That's how I look at it. You deserve all that glory when you exceed. Not just because I wasn't like them people and got in that trouble. I need a reward. No, you don't, because you wouldn't talk that way.
So what do you say for people who like might feel like you spoil your kids, or you have spoiled your kids or your grandkids? What do you say about that? Like, do you ever feel like or people tell you like you do too much for them, or you have done too much for them, and how does that make you feel? Do you sometimes say, yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that? Like what? How do you feel about that?
I never feel that way. I wanted to spoil my kids because I grew up poor, P-O-O. And I never wanted my kids to grow up like that. So I meant to do it, and I would do it again. Now, was it all to their advantage? No, some of it wasn't to their advantage, because some things, they just think it's supposed to be, and you have to work hard at having anything in life, and it ain't gonna just be because that's what you were accustomed to. It's just not gonna be. So it's some advantage and disadvantage for spoiling your kids. But I read something somewhere that says, if you spoil your kids, then you're gonna have to take care of your grandkids. but if you spoil your grandkids, that means you ain't got to worry about your kids doing what they supposed to do. But if you spoil them kids, then they'll be yours at your house. You got to take care of them grandkids. Mm-hmm. But if you don't spoil but spoil your grandkids, you ain't got to worry, because your kids are responsible. So you want responsible kids. You can spoil them grandkids because, hey, that's their mama's job and their daddy's job to raise them. It's my job to spoil them. I don't supposed to have to raise my grandkids. My job is to spoil them. But I didn't raise my kids, so I didn't have to raise my grandkids.
Mm-hmm. So that's good to know that you don't feel like you overdid anything, or that you have like regrets to
None.
Whatever you might have done. So let me see, like in closing, like ultimately, like what does 10 years from now look like for you and your family and your kids?
Well, I envision 10 years to be better than the last 10. So I always believe that in life you should always be striving to do better than what you are doing. And I believe if you're progressing, then you're on the right path. But if you're just staying still, and eventually what you're doing is digressing, because you always should have a plan to do better than you did the day before. Mm-hmm. So I look at the next 10 years, God willing, that, financially I'll be in much, much better shape. Mm-hmm. And hopefully even in health, mm-hmm. much, much better health. And that'll always be my goal, to always do better than the day before. That'll always be my plan, my goal. So I envision better things. That's like they always say, my best days are yet still ahead.
Well, thank you so much, Dad. I appreciate your time. And just from the oldest daughter, the firstborn, that is me. I just want to just tell you thank you for everything that you've done for us. Especially thank you for everything that you've done for me, because I know you don't think that I'm as thankful as I am, but I am. And I just wanna say that I have enjoyed you. As tough as you were, I always enjoyed you being my dad. I always enjoyed us being able to have a friendship. I always enjoyed being able to just talk to you and just tell you. The most thing I really enjoy is that being that, like, you always gave us a voice. You gave us the opportunity to say how we felt, or what we felt. Even if at the end of the day it still was going to be whatever you thought or whatever you said, you at least would like hear us out and then just be like, but I said no, or whatever. Still, like, you still just gave us the opportunity. So in turn, that made me be able to, like, always express myself with whomever, because you didn't shut that down. Like, so that made me be comfortable to talk and speak my mind and say what I need to say to get my point across to anybody. So that has always been a strong point for me and been something that I've been able to do. But I feel like you help facilitate that by allowing me to have a voice. So, I want to, just thank you for that, and just thank you for, just being a stand-up person, and being somebody that we can look to for an example and say, like, hey, this is how things, in general are supposed to be. Not that, you're perfect or anybody is, but you have been, a standard for us. And I just want to thank you for that. And I appreciate you and love you.
Love you too.